So at MTD today, I am here in Rotherham. I'm with Steve Brown, who's the Sales Director of the Engineering Technology Group. We're outside one of their customers. We're going to go inside and find out what they think about some pretty magnificent turnkey installations that you've done here, Steve. But before we do that, I'd like to find out from you about how the market is at the moment and how things are changing in the machine tool world.
There's a significant change in the market. The main influence of that is the skills gap. So as obviously a machine tool vendor, we supply the full turnkey solution. With obviously that stopgap, customers are now needing shorter lead time and cost cuts. And the way that we do that is by offering the full turnkey solution.
It's quite interesting though, because ETG are also doing a lot with academies as well. So you're almost working to retrain the industry too. So is there a bit of a contradiction there in a way?
No, so obviously the immediate effect now is the skills gap. So that's where we're coming in and offering the full turnkey solution. Bolting onto that as well, we're investing in local technical academies and obviously bringing that skills force up right up to speed where it should be needed for today.
So when we look at this company here, I mean, you don't just sell a machine tool in here, you sell a package, a solution, which we're going to see in a minute.
Exactly. We can't just turn up and deliver a machine here. These guys need the support, the relationship with ourselves. We tie in with their project, with the component itself. It's the full picture. We need to have the infrastructure behind that to support them.
And what's the evidence of this market change as well from the Engineering Technology Group? How can you quantify that there has been a shift?
So we've seen 40% growth already this year on Nakamura, both in the UK and our Ireland facility.
40% increase in sales?
40% increase in sales, and that's based on the turnkey solution.
And that would apply to some of your other products as well, though, I assume, because it's not just Nakamura that lend themselves to sort of productivity and automation, is it?
No, so we obviously have the Chiron as well, Chiron Verka. So again, 2017 seemed a slow dip for us with that product. We've had a restructure in management at the Engineering Technology Group under Martin Dahl, and we've seen significant growth already this year.
So tell me about what machines we've got here installed, Steve.
Two Nakamura NTJXs, two identical cells, triple turret, so we've got the B-axis, 5-axis head, two spindles, two lower turrets, and quite interestingly, two bar feeds.
So is the idea here then that you're making the same two of identical parts on one machine?
Yeah, exactly. The parts aren't necessarily complicated. What we're giving them here is a production cell.
And this was a total turnkey solution, wasn't it, supplied by the Engineering Technology Group?
Yeah, so they gave us a target of output, what they wanted to achieve. We taken on board the drawings, looked at them, put forward the proposal, and obviously we delivered with the two machines behind us.
And I believe from talking to one of the guys here that they've increased, or one of these cells is doing the work of 4 machines. That's some significant improvement in productivity.
Yeah, so that was part of their requirement, their justification to us, and that's what we aimed to deliver, and that's what we delivered.
And part of this story, or the main crux of this story, is about the automation, the turnkey. How many of these solutions are you providing as opposed to just machines hitting the deck as standalone machine tool sales?
Throughout the group, throughout the ETG, predominantly Quasar, Nakamura and Chiron, 95% of those will be turnkey projects.
And in your opinion then, is the machine tool market these days top heavy with people that can just supply machines as opposed to companies that engineer solutions maybe? Is it a bit light in that area?
Oh yeah, 100% sure. So if you take a standard twin spindle single turret lathe, for example, you yourself could go out, Paul, and you could get 20 quotes on a machine of that ilk.
And from that then, are you saying that as soon as somebody then went on to ask them to maybe do a cycle time study or maybe talk to them about programming a part, would that number significantly decrease, do you think?
Yeah, you could rule them out. When you start to dig down into the customer's needs, the turnkey can be anything from it doesn't necessarily have to be a full complex machine that we have here. We're talking about a solution provider, so we're looking at the tooling, we're looking at the components, we're looking at OEE, we're looking at the material costs. We look at the full picture for that customer, and by doing that, yes, you could eliminate 19 out of that 20.
Do you really think that's about the level? You think that you are pretty much one of the only ones that would stand alone and be able to offer this type of solution that you got here?
Yeah. Well, our company is privately owned. We have built the company and structured the company in such a way that we can offer such a turnkey solution.
So here, Steve, we've got an AS Nakamura machine. So this sort of goes against what we've just been talking about the complex turnkeys, doesn't it?
Not at all, Paul. This is the point I'm trying to get across. So beyond us, we've got the NTJX, okay? And like you alluded to there, the AS200. Both machines were supplied with full turnkey. Both machines needed the same level of input. Both machines need the same level of support, despite their technical ability.
So is this machine a pretty standard machine?
Yeah, from the engineering technology group, yeah, single spindle, single turret, got Y-axis and everything, but yeah, we'd class it as a standard machine.
But you still turnkeyed this. So what I'm gauging from here, going back several years ago, wouldn't engineers have just bought these machines and hit the deck and done all that themselves?
Yeah, exactly. But that confirms the skills gap. So yeah, 20 years ago, sales guy would go in, take an order for that machine, and they would do all the engineering themselves. Today, that is not happening. And until we can address that skills gap, which we as ETG are working on, then we offer the turnkey solution.
There was also another point that you raised, and also I know talking to Martin, he's mentioned as well, about the fact that the business is a privately owned company. You guys feel that you're really at the coalface and very close to the market and being able to service the customer as a result of that. Is that correct?
Yeah, so the level that we're speaking to our customers is the same level that Martin is. We own the company. So costs, overheads, we understand what the customer needs, what he wants to get out of that machine.
So something like this here then, Steve, what's the kind of the turnaround time, the installation time of a big turnkey project like this?
Depending upon the size of the approach of the project, really, we can take anything from 12 months, we can bring it all the way down to 12 weeks. We don't promote ourselves that we've done 500 machines a year, we've turned over X amount. We solely concentrate on the machines that we do deliver that are 100% guaranteed and are 100% supported.
And with this increase in sales, we call it 40% as you said earlier, across the board, how do you go about increasing the infrastructure within the business to be able to support that? Because you will have more demands from, for example, the service and training and all those elements.
We have all the skills within the company. So we've had as recent, we've had a restructure of all the senior management. We've put new implications in place. We're cross-training, but we will get new people covering new areas.
And a lot, as potentially a critic here, I could be playing devil's advocate. Nakamura, certainly, and in fact all of your brands, the technology coming out of their headquarters is phenomenal. Is this about a good Nakamura machine, or is it about ETG? I suppose in some ways I could say I'm an Arsenal fan. If we had Lionel Messi, we would win the Premier League. Is it ETG or is it Nakamura?
Lionel Messi is only one part of that, isn't he? So you've got other elements that fill into that. So you've got the guy that's going to stop the goals, you've got the guys that are going to defend and pass the balls around, you've got the person that's going to choose the management and select that team. So take that back to ETG then, you've not got just the machine, you've got the whole support and the package that goes with it.
And you positioning yourselves now, good answer by the way, are you positioning yourselves now as a mainstream machine tool solution provider in the UK? The future's pretty rosy, isn't it, when you consider that skills gap, although I don't like to say that, yeah. but it is looking good for your business.
Oh, very good. You say we've positioned ourselves, we haven't positioned ourselves, our customers supported us and we've all moved in the same direction.